Hello again, I am Blunty. Welcome to a brand new inaugural episode of a once-off ongoing series that I'm calling Stuff That Would Have Been Useful If My 3D Printer Wasn't So Crappy. Last week I made a video about these, the new white version of the Rode Wireless Go wireless microphone kit thing, and a few new accessories that Rode brought out for those. Amongst them, this, the stick mic adapter thingamabob doodler, which was remarkably, surprisingly good. And once I 3D printed my own, I found out that, yeah, maybe it is good value and not overpriced at all, because this was less than impressive average print quality aside. As you can see there, I had to glue it together because it snapped in that video and everything. It's linked in the down below at the end of the video if you want to watch that if you haven't already. But yeah, good in theory, but bad execution because of my crappy 3D printer, because my decent 3D printer blew itself up, so I had to resort to the crappy ones. But I did print out a few more things while I was sort of trying to dial in my printer to get this bigger print done, because I didn't obviously want to waste an extremely long print time for my very slow, very crappy 3D printer printing that without checking it out first. And there's some scrap stuff up here that I tried. But I did actually print out a few other accessories for the Rode Wireless Go and related products while I was at it. Smaller ones, as again, test prints. So I thought I'd take you through those. That way, I get a video out of it, and it wasn't just wasted time being incredibly frustrated with my crappy 3D printer. First, I was at one point going to print out a little subscribe notification thing or something, but yeah, just look at my Eevee. Look how bad my Eevee is. I get no detail out of this print, so just pretend I printed out a little subscribe, you know, logo thing with a bell on it to remind you to subscribe and ring the bell, because you need to do that on YouTube because of the algorithm monster. And leave a comment. Pretend there's a 3D print of the word comment on the screen right now. Poor Eevee. His little ear snapped off and everything. Poor Eevee. Leave a comment for poor Eevee. Poor Eevee. First is this one here, which is a little storage box kind of thing. And if my camera wants to focus for me, come on, come on. I love my Panasonic camera, but I hate the way its autofocus works. So yeah, this is a simple little storage box. As you can see there, it's got a little cutout there. And I was actually impressed this printed right, because bridging a gap that wide, you know, as it's printing layer by layer on a 3D printer as crappy as the one I was using, I suspected that wouldn't work. But it actually did work, much to the surprise of myself. This is probably one of the better 3D prints I've managed to get out of it. It's still not a great 3D print, but it's one of the better ones. So it's got a little hole there for the little teeth on the bottom of the clip there. So when you slide your Rode Wireless Go into there, and the fit and finish isn't great because the tolerances on my printer are pretty crappy. Oh, I've actually didn't manage to turn it on. How about that? That side works a little bit better. So yeah, the clips are retained. The devices themselves are held nice and steady, all in one unit, ready to throw in a bag, so you can't sort of misplace one or the other, and yeah, they're relatively well protected, and printed in a decent filament on a decent printer. This could be very, very useful. It's a bit tight to get out. Tight things aren't always great. Giggity. One of the other ones, and I think I may have another go at reprinting this either on the same printer or when I get a good printer, but this is a cable strain relief. And again, just focus for me. Come on, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. I know you want to do it. Ah, there you go. So this is a strain relief for the 3.5mm jack of an accessory microphone. So if we pop that in there, and then we can clip this over. Wait, I got to get it around the right way because it's got a little bumpy cutout thing for the bumpy cutout thing at the back there. So we go in like that. There we go. Now this is actually designed. Come on, focus. Would you just do me a favor once in your life? It's been particularly misbehaving today. Yeah, it's got little hooks there. And the idea is you pop a rubber band around that and around the other side to hold it on there even more securely if you're worried about that. But quite frankly, the clutching force of the clip going around the little bumpy bit at the back there is quite enough. And that will, help protect your microphone from accidentally coming dislodged if you give the cable a bit of a yank. And by the way, I didn't mention this in the original video, but this Rode microphone comes with a little tag on it, a little paper tag stuck around it, saying that this is Kevlar reinforced. And it's actually a choking hazard, because it's so difficult to break. If you manage to wrap it around your throat, you might die. So I'm not particularly worried about the cable being damaged, but it will stop this thing from accidentally being disconnected if this gets a bit of a yank. So that's actually a pretty cool little accessory. And popping it off again is really, really quite simple. So that is a bit of beautiful 3D print design. And I'll put the credits and the links and stuff in the down below so you can go grab one of your own. But yeah, that one, I think that's my favorite. This one is pretty cool too. So this is the receiver unit for the Rode mic. It's got a little screen on there. You can tell what's up, what the battery's doing, what your signal's like, and what your settings are. And the belt clip, as I mentioned in the original video, just happens to be exactly the right width to fit into a hot or cold shoe, like so. So you can mount it on your camera. What a bizarre coincidence. It's almost like Rode planned it or something. But mounting it like that means you have to look down on the screen when you're using the camera. But if you wanted that to face forward, if you're in front of the camera, for example, or behind, so you don't have to look down on your camera if you're mounting your camera quite high, that's where this comes in. And this can be used with all kinds of things, not just the Rode adapter, because all it is basically a right angle adapter for a hot shoe. Particularly useful for this. So we go into it like this, and oh, this one's one of the ones that, oh, get in there. Oh, it's so tight. Oh. Sorry, I did plan that gag. I'm ad-libbing less of this. I did plan that gag at one point here, but I wasn't ready for the noises I was going to make there. That might have been a bit too much. Sorry, headphone users. Sorry, that slides in there like this. Oh, so tight. So there you go. Now it's well, it's upside down. But can I put it in the other hole? My God. Yeah. Oh. There we go. Now I've done it properly. So now it's facing up the right way. So yeah, kind of handy. Right, so the final accessory I want to show you is in a similar vein, but not for a hot shoe. It's for this, the little proprietary hot shoe style thing on the little DJI gimbal here that we all love. So this is designed for little accessories like this that slide in there, so you can plug your phone into it. That's an Apple one. There's another one for Android. I think there's a few other various accessories that plug into it. But this is a little, passive adapter for that slot there that gives you a standard cold shoe fitting. And I've had to file this thing down using my nail file to get it to fit, because it was one of the first smaller things I printed and did not print very well. So even with the file, it's pretty tight. So it fits in there nice and secure, and that gives you a cold shoe. So now you can plug your Rode Wireless Go receiver into that, and away you go. Filmy, filmy, filmy. You do still need the microphone adapter, because that's got a USB port. There's no microphone input on this, but you can get a microphone adapter for this. You plug it into the USB-C, plug out of this into that, and away you go. You've got a wireless microphone for your DJI. I forget the name of this thing. I put it on screen. What do they call this thing? Oh, it's the Osmo Pocket. There it is, right there. I just call it my Osmo Gimbo thing. Gimbo? Gimbal. But yeah, the other thing about this is you can also, it's a standard cold shoe. And so you can put things like, lights in this and everything, which is probably slightly more useful than a wireless microphone on this thing, because it's a fairly wide angle lens. Chances are you're not going to need a wireless microphone very often for this, but it does have kind of crappy low light performance. So being able to slap a light on the side there, especially a nice sort of broad beam one like this aperture one I've got on here with the sort of little spongy softbox thing. I'll do a video on this pretty soon, actually. I've been testing it for a little while now, and I'm very impressed with it. But yeah, being able to slap a light on this thing is very, very useful indeed. So yeah, between this one, which I want to print a better quality of, and this one, which I want to print a better quality of, I'm quite impressed. I probably won't get a lot of use out of this, but for some people it would be quite useful. And as for the box, well, I don't know. It'd be nice to store them in. I don't think I'll travel with it much though, because you're trying to keep the size down. But yeah, that's my crappy 3D printer. Look at this thing. This is a button pusher I tried to print out yesterday. Now the idea is it's got a little slidey thing in the middle. It's supposed to slide out, so you push the elevator buttons, then you slide it back down to stop it touching other things in your pocket. But yeah, my 3D printer is 11 different kinds of crappy. So there! Now, I didn't waste my time printing these things because I made content out of it. If you like this content, please do the thing with the thumbs and the bells and the subscribe and the comments and the thank the patrons and all that kind of gizmo stuff. Gizmo stuff? Good Lord.